This way we're going to explore how in terms of South Korea, it's not South Korea, in the best possible way that we can. And I can't wait.
You probably have noticed within the last couple of years, the Korean cinema has been gaining a lot of popularity. We've seen them at the Oscars. Are there any films that have caught your attention?
Well, Parasite and what's the Minari is, to me, what I loved about Parasite, which is actually one of my favorite movies of all time.
Wow.
And I went to film school, so I've seen like a lot of movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I just found it just to be just almost perfect. Because it's the cinema, the visuals were amazing, but the whole theme of it didn't ever veer off from the theme that family is what's most important. And whatever form that comes in, that you'll die for family, you'll kill for family, you'll separate yourself and live in a way that is only a parasite can live in, is that you do that for family, and that it became an extremely important message, because I think that's to me, and it's also Minari also is also a film about family,
Right.
and that to me is an important message to pass along into the world, is that I know there's a lot of movies about mobsters and gangs and serial killers, and people really enjoy that, and that's fine. But I think the bottom line is what we really want to see is what we live every day, and what we need to encourage people to get, that family is of premier importance, and more important than power, more important than greed, but it's the most important part of who we are as people. And I just related to there's humor. A lot of people forget there needs to be humor, and there was a connection of these quirky behaviors, as opposed to everybody having the same voice, which is also a struggle I have with some cinema that doesn't quite work, is because everybody sounds the same, and they don't have a different voice, but everybody had their own voice, and they had their own needs, but it all came back down to the theme, the overall objective of how important family is, and the first step of my technique, overall objective.
Yes. If you can tell us more about your technique. A lot of Korean fans are still new to it. So what would you say is the thing that distinguishes your technique from the previous known techniques?
Well, the other techniques are about just finding the truth, and that's important, to have the truth and tell the truth and speak the truth. But this technique is about doing something about it. It's actually being proactive and trying to change something. So to have somebody sit in their pain is really not, it's not fun to be the person performing it. It's not fun to watch it. It's like the same concept that if you're around somebody who truthfully is in pain all the time, always like emotionally say, my life is horrible, this person dumped me, I just lost my job, but whatever it is, but there's always something, there's, they're in some kind of emotional drama about. And and you could love that person a lot. It's just really hard to be around that person, because the person's not doing anything about it. They're just sitting there. And the same way, we don't want to be around that person for free. Why would we pay money to see it? So the things we want to do is like explore the truth of our traumas and dramas and insecurities and fears, and understand that what we want to do is be able to be proactively trying to overcome and find some kind of resolution or solution to the issues that we're dealing with. And it also, I use things in present time. So what do you need to work on in today's world? And today's world So we take stuff that may have emanated from things from the past, but we look at how it found its way to our present life, and so that we can have a better tomorrow. And so this is a technique that allows you to be able to understand how to take the things that in other techniques have explored the truth of who you are and what drives your pain and the source of your pain. But this is about going to the next step and doing something about it. And that's the mark of a dynamic person. We want to duplicate dynamic people. Dynamic people are few. And they're the few that I'm going to win whatever it is that the objective of the story is, in spite of and because of all the bad things that have happened to me and all the ways that I deal with life that are self-destructive, so that it becomes a win. And we put the win-lose kind of aspect into it, so we're being driven by the need to win and overcome and change. And that's exciting to watch, you know?
The forward motion. Your technique has the forward motion.
It has. It's there by forward motion and getting to and finding resolution, solving things with it. So this way, not only for the performer do you find that for the character that you're finding some sense of resolution for the character, but it finds a way, because it's of the personalizations, to find a way to resolve your own things that are going on in your own life. And then again, it transfers over to your audience. Your audience also relates to, because we have the same primal realities of what drives us as people all over the world, is that we can change. They're watching the screen or stage, and they're saying, that person has the same stuff that I have. They're doing something about it, and maybe so can I. And it gives people hope that they can change their world.
The next question is, what would you say is the main message of your book, The Power of the Actor? Is there anything else that you would like to highlight other than what we just discussed?
It's called The Power of the Actor, so it's about empowerment. It's about people give away their power in so many different venues. They give away their power to their mates. They give away their power to their parents or to their siblings or their children. That to their employers, to their neighbors, you know. So it's like the idea that we all have the ability to be empowered. It's just that most people are scared to really look at the power that resides inside them, because it takes bravery to look at the part that makes you weak. Is the only way to understand what makes you strong. So you have to really explore your weakness and your flaws to really understand your strength and your specialness. It's called yin yang. And in order to understand the light, you have to understand the dark. So this is a whole, the nature of my technique allows us to really look at how to be powerful.
Yeah, I've been studying with you for the past couple months, but I feel like I'm already changing, moving towards empowerment. I feel like I've been living in the victim-y phase for a long time, and it's gonna take time for me, but
No, but you've changed a lot. I mean, it's only been a couple of months, but this technique is just, it works quickly because we want it.
Yeah.
It's not, we don't have to struggle I don't want to do this. It's like, no, you want it because it feels so good. So it's like, it lightens the load, it takes it off of you, makes it because you know that there's something, there's gold at the end of the tunnel. So there's light, there's a rainbow, there's a pot of gold, it's like, so it feels good, and you've changed really quite a bit.
Really?
And absolutely, I know you have.
Yeah.
It's like the way you walk, the way you communicate with people, the way you walk with empowerment, and the way you first were communicating with some of the other students in class, there was more fear. You're not going to like me.
Yeah.
And now you're just like right in there. Just like, and everybody loves you, and it's like everybody's like, adores you, you know. And because you bring that when you bring your own sense of self and empowerment, and taking the things that you think before you had to hide, and you don't have to hide them anymore. In fact, you can embrace them.
Yeah.
That's your presence.
Yeah.
It's your presence from the powers that be, whatever you believe in, gives you all those things to say, like, you have all these insecurities and fears about things, but they're to be tackled. And there should be a challenge, an opportunity to look at them as growth.
Yeah, I really am very appreciative of everything that I've been through, that I'm going through, the way I'm changing, and I really can't wait to share it with my fellow artists in South Korea.